Sorry, everybody. Apologies for being a bit late, but good evening to you all. Yeah, we just had to iron out a few things before we started, so we don't usually run late. We're usually on time, but thanks everybody for sticking with us. Big Game L says running late. That's only allowed on 4 guys. I know. Anyway, good evening, one and all. Welcome to a very special extra episode of the tNb Gaming Podcast. We squeezed one in, yes. And it's more of a special occasion really tonight because we're sort of celebrating achievements of one of our own, but also it's not just an achievement; it's a hell of an achievement, and it deserves a space of its own. We did try and get it on last week when we were doing the wrestling games as well, but it didn't quite come off. So we're going to do, we said we'd be back on the bank holiday. We're going to do it again tonight. So we'd sort of squeeze an episode in. So if we have caught anybody off guard, do let them know because they may want to jump on, or they may want to catch up with this at some point. I'll just whiz to the chat very quickly. We know Big Game Al's here. Eddie's here. Good evening, Eddie. Hope you're all right. Retro Claire's here. Ian from the RGB Gaming Podcast. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're okay. And he said he'd be popping in tonight. Al said running late. Yes, well, yeah, that's one of those things. Trev's here. Good evening, Trev, rock and roller. Danny H, the Retro Gaming Masters here. Good evening, Danny. Hope you're all right. Retro Kit, John. Hello, mate. Speaking to you early today. Getting to hear from a millionaire tonight, says Stu, Generation Pixel. Hi, Stu. Hope you're all right. Trev just finished Rock and Roller. I don't know if he's Rock and Roller. He's Rock and Roller. Trev just finished Gunbird 2. There we go. 8-Bit Rach. Hello, Rach. Good evening. I think you found out very late last night we were doing this because we popped into our Fall Guys stream. So there you go. Billy Cast Strength Gamers here. Good evening, Billy. Hello to my friend JBTV. Went to my grandparents today. Had a Sunday dinner. Well, that is what Sundays are all about. So I hope I hope you had a nice time and it was a good meal as well for you. But good to see you here as well. Right, so let's crack on then. So we're going to be talking tonight about the achievement of getting to 1 million Gamerscore and the journey that one of our own has been on for quite some time. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's really, it's all about, I say it's all about him. No, it's not. His aspects of it are all about him, but there are other things that have helped him along the way and assistance he's had and things. And it's all about celebrating that tonight. It is a hell of an achievement. I know people who do the Gamerscore, know how long these things take and how long it can get there. So without further ado, it's a welcome return as well to our very, very good friend, Gurnaldinho Plays. Rob, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Bear, and good evening to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, how are you? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right, mate. Tired as always because it seems to either work or not work at the moment, it seems. But yeah, no, all good. All good, thanks.
All good. And it was just under 2 weeks ago you managed to hit the magic million, wasn't it?
It was. I shall never forget the 8th of the 8th as long as I live. So, yeah, the 8th of the 8th, 2022.
12 years in the making.
12 years in the making, yes. Yes.
You sound like somebody who's done a million Gamerscore, like, yeah, 10 here, 12 years in the making.
12 years in the making. No, it's just that I know it's for people starting now, you know, Gamerscore is a little bit not as tough as it was back when it was first introduced, but you know, I've done it for pure enjoyment, you know, and yes, and my Xbox Live account is 12 years old, so yeah, technically it's taken 12 years for me to get there.
And we can tell by the smile on your face, as Eddie's pointed out, the achievement you've done. Microwave says, "Why don't you face reveal?" Well, you know, you can't. We've discussed it before, haven't we? You can't.
No, I've been doing it YouTube like this for nearly 3 years now, so it's not changing, I'm afraid. Trust me, I wouldn't be the same person if I did. I'm a very camera shy person, full stop. So why a camera shy person does YouTube anyway is another thing for another day to discuss. But I was never meant to do anything more than voiceovers when I first started doing YouTube. So it kind of developed into this, and this is who I am. So unfortunately, there'll never be a face reveal on YouTube, but you know, I do come up. I have seen a lot of fellow YouTubers in public at events, and I do come up and reveal myself to them. You know, I'm not hidden from everybody forever, but it's more of a catch me live if you want to see my face kind of thing. So
yeah, as Ian's been looking up to see your face. He says you're a beautiful looking man.
He's also a liar, but thank you, Ian.
Evening to Auto Gaming, who was with us on Fall Guys last night. Hope you're okay as well. Danny says any big score is a worthwhile achievement to be proud of. Certainly this one, anyway. I mean, we've been talking about it on the podcast since we started doing it, haven't we? About getting you to this point. We've had updates and know all the little games you've been playing and things like that. So Scott Sager Zombies here as well. Good evening, Scott. Hope you're okay as well. Good to see you in. We'll talk a bit more about it. We'll bring in the other guy. Now, I know you wanted to bring because we've got a special guest with us this evening as well, as we always do. And I know you wanted to introduce this YouTuber to the viewing public. So I'll let you do that now, mate.
Yes, especially selected by myself. And when it talks to achievements, there's probably for me nobody else to really ask to come on with me, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of achievement terminologies I might use throughout the night. I don't know if I need to explain them all, but one of them is what we call boosting and a boosting buddy. It's basically someone who helps you with all the online stuff, even just getting a game. Certainly on a lot of the older stuff that you can hardly get a game on just because no one's playing it, or just to help you through those lengthy achievements that will take a long while. If get 100 wins on this, but you kind of just trade them, but sort of someone to help you boost the chances of getting that. And I know he's quite humble, and every time I say this to him, it's like, oh no, it's all right, it's thanks. You do all the work yourself, but he doesn't realise how much time he gives for me and how many games he boosts for me that he's already done. It's certainly more of a one-way thing because he's done a lot more than I have. So I just want to say a big thank you to him and massive appreciation for everything he's done. He is responsible for a large chunk of Gamerscore. I've actually come up with a last-minute game sort of to play at some point during the stream as well. But anyway, a few people have already screaming and they know who it is. But I just, can we please bring in and introduce my very good friend, who I speak to quite frequently, nearly daily, Ross of Bo Ho Ho.
Here he is.
Oh, goody. Can I go by Rob's bitch tonight?
You can do. I'm going to have a change in people's names now when they turn up on this show. So you're all right. You saw it last week. So yeah, but good to have you back, Ross. I know you've been on with us before. So
yeah.
And I know when Rob got in contact about wanting to try and squeeze this one in between the episodes, he was obviously mentioned that you'd be keen to coming on. So welcome back, and an introduction there worthy of a faithful companion and friend to get him to this mid-in Gamerscore.
I'm a bit touched by that. I had to wipe the tear away before she came on. As soon as he said, "Do you want to talk achievements?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I do. Love them."
We do talk a lot about achievements, so
well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? This aspect of getting to that particular point is all about the achievement. So you need to. I know when Rob's spoken to me about it, I know he's been playing a lot of, as he says, doubling up and buddy play and things like that with you, Ross. I mean, it's it's almost like some of that Gamerscore is yours in a way, sort of helping him out.
Yeah, we trade it, so basically it's shared, isn't it? It's good fun. I bought games to help him out. He's bought games to help me out. It's all the same.
But that is true. That might crop up during the night, no doubt. But I mean, it's not just actually getting Gamerscore, is it, as well? It's also sort of getting completions as such, because without the online, online is a bugbear of many achievement hunters. Like, has it got online? Yeah, sort of thing, isn't it? But it also helps getting completions and actually getting 1,000 Gs or whatever. There's a little bit more. So
the amount of games I finished and you finished because we were just left with online achievements to do, and the servers are dead. It's helped. So through YouTube, we've made a pretty good thing here going.
Yeah,
boosting Gamerscore.
I was going to say, without YouTube, we wouldn't have found each other. And I was going to say, our Gamerscores have both benefited through it. And
it's easier for me to ask you to do something with me than go on through achievements and try and set up a party of people, of random people. And so it's always people that get the achievement that run away, and then you don't get any help from it.
And when it comes to 360, of course, and you need someone that's got the game, we've both got massive collections, haven't we? So, you know,
Yeah,
I've got
there's not much
850
we
of
find
them.
that we don't have.
It's quite unlikely.
Okay. Right. Well, we'll come back to you fellas in a second. Just pick the comments now and bring in our last panelist tonight. John had already guessed who it was. It was Ross. James says, congratulations, Rob, on the Million Gamer Store. Well done.
Thank you, James.
Biggest shock ever. Guest is Ross. Thanks, Al. Gavin's here. Snoopy Man 79. Ross, you beautiful bitch, says Ian. Al's claiming some of that. Al's claiming some of that gamer score from the other night, Rob. So there we go.
Yeah.
Trev's here.
I mean, it is worth noting that I know Ross is easily the largest chunk, but there's other thank yous to people that have we pulled in and helped. So like some you need more than 2 people for example. I know there was a group of us. We were all playing Driver San Francisco recently, so I can thank Al as well. He's helped us a little bit. You've got people like Scott, Glory Hunter, Lewis Wishwash. We the 3 of us run through Gears 5 when you needed to do a sort of co-op campaign with 3 people for an achievement for that as well. But no, and the other day is obviously on Friday, Al came over and we went to Retro Hunter for a day out in Southend for a day out. And when he dropped us off, I went, Al, you ain't got to shoot off, have you? Have you got a while? He said, yeah, sure. And I said, right, can you come in? There's a multiplayer achievement on a game, which is multiplayer local only. And yeah, there's 3 achievements, and I can only get one of them by myself because it's really hard to do it without another person. So yeah, he popped in, and I've got the completion of Madagascar Carts now because I had a second person to actually drive around with us.
Of all the games to do it with, there we go.
Be a true friend to be willing to come in and play a kiddie's kart racer with you.
Exactly.
I couldn't think anybody more appropriate, to be honest with you, to come in and play that game with him. But good on him anyway.
Well, the achievement, there were 3 achievements on there that are local multiplayer and no online at all for that game, was to collect 10, 25 and 40 hourglasses in the multiplayer time trial mode. Every time you hit an hourglass, it adds a little bit of time, but there's 2 of you doing it. So I managed to do the 10 on my own before the timer run out. I mean, there were methods on true achievements like tie an elastic band around the second controller's accelerator and then try and yours and then try and steer them both. Could I do that? Could I, so I was just like, right, one day someone will come around and I'll have to remember and I'll have to hook them into doing this because I can't. You need to hit 2 lots to keep the time going. So I need someone else to get time for me while I'm still getting the other hourglasses. So yeah, I'll pop round and I was able to finally get that one done. Sort of about a year and a bit into actually originally playing the game. I think I looked it up and having those 2 achievements sitting there for ages. So no, thanks, Al.
It's really easy completion.
Yeah, it's not actually that difficult, believe it or not, but that held me back.
Right. John said he can't stop you watch the replay a bit later. He has left a question, which I'll get to in a second. Let's bring our last panelist in because he's been sitting there very patiently, and I'm aware he's been. He may fall asleep at any moment. Welcome back, everybody. Sean from Retro Games Revived. Good evening, Sean.
Evening, all. How are
you?
Ross,
you right?
Rob, yes, Ross.
Evening, Sean.
I feel a bit left out, actually, because all your names start with R and mine starts with S, so it's a shame. You have to call me Ron from night. Ron.
call you Rich or I don't know, Ray or something like that, You
could be an honorary Randy.
Randy.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Yeah, but good to have you here again, mate, as always. And,
good to be here, mate. And supporting Rob and his great achievement. So nice to be here to celebrate it with him. I've got a drink ready and all, Rob, as well.
There we go.
Give a little toast here.
Come prepared.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine's not alcoholic because I got work tomorrow quite early. But yeah, I've got a drink, but it's only Cherry Luke. Well, and a cheap knockoff Cherry Lucozade of that. No expense spared here.
Oh, right. Quick question for Mehdi. What would the achievement be called for getting on the tNb podcast as a guest? Which I think Claire said would be the naughty badge.
Oh, naughty badge.
I mean, very clever that. Very clever.
Ah, yes, well played.
Yeah, it has a moment. Going back to the Retro Hunter, Danny says, must go to the Retro Hunter again soon, starting to miss Ali in his shop. Sega Zombie says, it's great to hear you guys. We've all been helping each other with the achievements. Quick question for Sean. What's your gamer score? Sean, do you know?
0.
0. I think mine's between 600 and 700. So, I've got slightly more than you.
Me, mate.
I think that's because I've turned it on 10 times. That's probably what it is. Over these years.
Some games you do get an achievement for pressing start, so you know.
You do, yes. That's how I built it up. I was playing when I got Rare Replay on the Xbox One. Every time you start on that game, you got like 10 or 15 or something like that. I can't remember. It's like, this is dead easy, isn't it? Just keep can rack up 200 very, very quickly without actually playing anything, but still doesn't get me to the 1,000. I've got a quick question here as well from John, because he's gone, and I just want to get it in. Do you have a single achievement, Rob, that means more than the rest? For me, it's 7 Day Survivor on Dead Rising.
I'm guessing does he mean something you're sort of don't know, proud of, or just a significant moment?
Well, I think something that perhaps sits, maybe not obviously the way you got to the million. I mean, obviously that's quite significant, but was there, something else that meant more to get that particular score than some of the others?
Well, I'm only saying that because John's chose an achievement which is basically playing a game for 14 hours straight, I believe, which is quite a tough one to get. But I mean, if you want an achievement that means something to me, a lot more than the rest, it's quite simply the first one. Because I got into Gamerscore because I had a Dreamcast before I had my 360. I had my Dreamcast for years, and I was happy with it. I only had a library of about 8 games, but it was literally all I ever needed. And I absolutely played that thing day and night, absolutely loved it to bits, and it literally burnt it out one day. And I was like, well, where do I go from here? Do I get another Dreamcast, or what do I do? And I was in a bit of a limbo of not really doing anything for a while and not knowing what console to get. And then I went around a mate's house. He had a 360 and said, do you fancy a game of PES? Do you want to, let's have a game of PES. And I went, yeah, sure, no worries. And then I give him a game of PES, and boom, up popped that little thing at the bottom. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, oh, that's called an achievement, that. And I was like, that's pretty cool, that. He's like, I don't know, just seeing it again gave me a little bit of a buzz straight away. And he was like, yeah, I'll set up your own profile on my Xbox for you. And he said, get your own achievements on here if you want. I was like, yeah, sweet. And I just got addicted, had to have my own, and that was it. So yeah, I got on an Xbox for Christmas, literally the next Christmas that year. It came with PES 2010. First achievement on my own account unlocked, which was first glory for getting a win on PES 2010. Not exactly the hardest thing to do. I think it was for 10G, and I never forget it because it was the first one. And I think if you want to go as far as to another one that could rival it is probably the last one in that game, which was to win 75% of your games online, your last 75% of games online. So basically I did the easy maths. I said, right, I've got to win 15 out of 20 after playing at least 20. And I had to get really good at that game because I did it with a term we use with Achievement Hunt called legit, which basically means there's no boosting buddy involved. You've done it with true skill, basically, and you've got it legit, if you get what I mean. So we would use the term legit a lot because you can obviously use a boosting buddy to get achievements. So I got the last achievement in that, legit, and it was my first completion. So you can look at the first achievement and the achievement that led to my first completion, all from, I know it's only PES, but from that first game, So I guess that would be my answer to that, really. But there's harder achievements that I've got, obviously, but
that was going to be my first question. In what was the first achievement you managed to get? So you sort of answered that for me, really, because I was always interested to. I mean, again, you having told that story there, it's like you saw that first achievement, and then when you got it, you started doing it yourself. So it sort of registered there. It was sort of answers both my questions, really. So it's interesting. Dainster's here is watching from a pizza shop, so don't shout out any orders. Don't shout out any orders or anything like that, And that's it. How do you want to play this, Rob? Do you want to take questions as we go along, or do you want to talk a bit more about it first and then take questions afterwards?
I don't know if they build up, we can. But I've also, I know we usually do what have you been playing, but I've sort of I've come up with a little game to kind of to play with Ross. It's called a bit of a reactions game as such, and we can do that if you want, because I've managed to find physical copies of a lot of games that we've boosted together in history. And if I bring them into shot, I mean, some of them I'll put a few in because they're kind of tying together, and some of them are singularly, and see what he can remember. See if he sort of rolls his eyes with fear of seeing them again, because some of them did cause us a little bit of grief. So, did you want to go for that now? I've probably got what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About around about 10 or so next to me.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 questions in the chat waiting. So we can do these 2 questions first, and then we want to jump onto that. Okay. And I will say to anybody who's listening out there, if you want to ask a question for Rob or Ross or both of them, don't ask me and Sean, because we're just here for we're just here for the ride tonight. But if there's anything you want to ask, put it in the chat. I'll try and get through as many as I can, obviously depending on how we get along. But I appreciate a lot of people may want to ask a lot of questions. You might not get to them. Obviously, there's stuff that Rob and Ross may want to talk about as well. We've had to devote some time to. But it's a bit on the fly tonight. So if it's a bit rough and ready around the edges, I do apologise for that. Not our usual polished effort. Yeah. Question from Eddie then, for both Ross and Rob. What's your favourite type of achievement to go for?
I can go first, Rob.
Yeah, go for it, because I'm struggling a bit.
My favourite type is, I like things that are very quick to get but take a lot of skill. Say something like beat a certain score in a certain mode on Tetris or like Lumines or something. I like that kind of thing, because I don't like, say, you've got to complete a story on hard, you've got to do something. If you miss something, you've got to repeat all the way from the beginning. I like snappy, start again, like Super Meat Boy style. So if you fail, you can instantly start. The best example I can think of is the game Steep, because it's just a snowboarding game, an extreme sports game, but some of the challenges are stupidly hard on it. But there's no learning, there's no nothing. You just slap a button, starts you back at the beginning. Games like Trials and things like that. So anything skill based that I can sit there and know that once I've done it, I've spent a lot of time, and it looked impressive at the end. But no one else saw it but me. But it looked impressive.
Have you got one, Rob?
I guess it's one that's actually sort of a true sense of the word, actually, because obviously I've already mentioned it's got a little bit easier nowadays. You can, some games are literally less than 5 minutes. So I like something that's a little bit true to the word in achievement, either with skill wise, like pretty much like what Ross has said, or if it's involving doing something easy, make an endurance. Make someone do it a lot and make him do it multiple times. But one that really makes me sort of actually cheer or celebrate when you get it. It's been an effort. Like I said, again, I suppose it goes back to being true to the word. It is an achievement. So it gives you that fist pump moment, or you're cheering in your living room on your own one day because you've been working on it for ages and you've finally done it. But yeah, no, just one's a true sense to the word.
One of those ones that's got you punching the sofa, and when you do it, it's better than sex.
on Chris is here. Good evening, Chrissy. Hope you're all right. On the subject of that one, Sean, I want to say, if there's any questions you want to ask at all, mate, just jump in when you feel free. Don't just sit there and don't say anything. But if you want to ask anything, just jump in. Please, honestly. Other question we have from Danny H, the Retro Gaming Master, was, what was the easiest and most difficult achievement? Now, obviously, you've got different levels of G, haven't you? So, I mean, I don't know how you want to class this one. Rob, what do you think?
Well, a lot of times, the amount of game score you get per achievement isn't really representative of how difficult it is. It can be within the game as general, but obviously, like I said, there are games that are only have 10 achievements, so some of those are going to be quite high. There's only got 10, and the game could be done in no time at all. But I mean, the easiest achievement, you could just literally sit here all day and rattle off so many. I mean, obviously, we'll go back to 360 days when everyone was always this one's got easy, this easy, that. Avatar was the first game that was truly easy, wasn't it? The only one on 360 that was really, really easy and could be done in less than 10 minutes, just mashing the B button. because they obviously couldn't be bothered with achievements. But there's many games that have got achievements for just pressing start, like we've already touched on. The Simpsons even calls it easiest achievement ever, 5G. Press start to play. There are a few that have got that. But if you want to talk about hardest, I don't know about hard. See, hardest again is subjective. I like a lot of people will talk about certain achievements, that are skill based that take a long time. Me, I will say there's an achievement that's online that you have to do legit. There, you can't boost, and you have to get good at the game. I always think that's difficult because you have to find someone to play, and then there is no working out patterns. You're playing a human being, so there's always an element of a factor you can't just learn. A pattern that a computer plays there, but one that springs to mind. It's kind of a sort of a proud one as well that I did. That literally, I was going to say I'm quite a revered person when it comes to celebrating something. I don't really go all out loud and cheer and that sort of those. More the quiet fist bump kind of person, like that. But I went back to probably a couple of years ago. Street Fighter 2 Hyperfighting, the arcade Xbox Live arcade port of Street Fighter, and the two achievements I had missing on that was complete the game without losing a fight, so you could lose a round. But there was also an achievement for completing the game without losing a round. And I'm thinking, when I bought it back in the day, I'm thinking, yeah, Street Fighter 2 Champ Edition, I can do that on hard, the highest difficulty, no problem. I got that down. This is a lot, I don't know what it is about this Hyperfighting version. It's very unbalanced and very unfair, and I never did it. And I decided to go back to it a couple of years ago, and I thought, I'm going to do this. And many a night I got close. I got to got to Vega, got to Sagat, lost a round, and I was absolutely furious. And then one night, I was looking at True Achievements, and they were saying, "Be Bison, do the Psycho Crusher, just spam that." And it works to a degree until you get someone with projectiles, and then you get fucked over. And so I thought, no, go back to my boy Ryu, be Ryu, Ryu. And literally I just was like, I'm going to keep doing this, keep playing this, get everything down. And one day I finally got to Bison. I was like, come on, let this be the moment. And I finally did it. And I literally got up off the sofa, double fist bump, and shouted really loud. And the upstairs must have heard me, next door must have heard me, the block over that way must have heard me. But you know what I mean? It was a lot of, pent up sort of, I don't know, frustration and aggression at the same time all came out. It's like, I've finally done this.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably not the hardest achievement out there, but it was just one that I was both proud of getting at the same time as well as being tough. So, but I know this man's got a lot of serious and tough stuff. So, I'm interested to hear what he's got to say.
Yes, same question to you, Ross.
Okay, easiest. I can think of an easier achievement than press start to play. One of the SBK bike games, you put the disc in the console and it gives you an achievement for buying the game.
Do you know what I think I looked at recently? I think it might be 09.
Yeah, I think it's 09. You put it in the console and as it boots up, it says thank you for buying the game.
I like that. There's something somewhere inside me that likes that. They actually someone take the time to give me an achievement for buying the game, because that's nice.
I never thought Deadpool gives you two, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it gives you one for free.
Start to play, and he goes, "This one's free," and then he says something. He press, and then just another one pops up. This one's also free or something.
When it comes to hardest ones you can go for, is one that I don't have. I'm never going to have. It's on Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. I don't think you can even get it anymore. You might be able to. There's an achievement for being top in the world on the solo multiplayer stuff, and one for being top in the world on the team stuff. But there's also an achievement for being top in the world on both at the same time, and that's just insane. There are people that boost it, but as like people's scores are getting better and better and better, the time it takes to boost it is just increasing all the time. There's people who sit there, even if you've got like two groups of people trying to get it, they'll be fighting against each other for months trying to get this thing, because they're just extending it all the time. It's ridiculous. But hardest ones I've done myself, it'll be rhythm game stuff probably. Probably just beating, stuff on Guitar Hero 3. You had to beat like Through the Fire and the Flames on Expert. I've done all that kind of stuff. I legit beat 750 people online on it.
Wow.
But the hardest Guitar Hero one I can think of is Guitar Hero 2. It's Kick the Bucket. You have to beat Jordan by Buckethead on Expert, which as a song goes, it's not as hard as Through the Fire and the Flames, but there's one bit that it's called the wall. Basically, it's just a wall of notes that if you can't hit at least 75% of it, it knocks you out in about a second. It's ridiculous. So yeah, getting that was something I was proud of. I've done a few crazy things for achievements as well, because I wanted to try and beat as many rhythm games as I could. I bought and learnt to play the bass so I could get the 1000 GM Rocksmith, so I did that.
You learnt to play a legit instrument so you could get the...
Yep.
Wow. That's commitment. That is
dedication. That.
Yeah.
Well, I did it while I was
Roy
furloughed.
Castle was right. Yeah, Roy Castle was right all these years.
Yeah, I've done quite a few weird things and some crazy ones. Like I learned to play DJ Hero. I did all that expert on that, beat loads of people online. Yeah, just mainly rhythm stuff. Oh, and I beat all of Tetris Connect, or whatever it's called. Tetris Effect Connected. That's ridiculous to beat. I was getting angry at that for so long, and when I beat that, I almost cried.
Wow, there we go. If anybody else had done anything like that, actually, perhaps you're trying to be a sniper or something to get really good at playing Call of Duty. I don't know, but I mean, to actually go around and learn to legitimately play an instrument so you could actually get the achievements on the game, that is something else.
To be honest, I ended up really liking it, and I play my bass pretty much every day now. So
there you go. Yeah. Go on, Rob.
I could probably chuck in a little bit of a team one as well. What about when we for multiple nights kept playing TMNT Arcade?
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was pretty beastly.
14 years it took me to complete that game.
Yeah, we had the same achievements basically hanging over, didn't we? Each, but you don't think it sounds too difficult, but it's basically beating the game and living to. I think it says living to see fight again. I don't know. So basically, the arcade mode on that gives you 10 lives each, and that's it. And then you have to basically beat Shredder at the end as well, and obviously not have died. And we took ages, didn't we? We learnt patterns. We sort of learnt strategies. We learnt the sewer level trick, which I actually even made a video on now, where you can walk along one line and actually go through the level without getting hit, because for some reason the AI doesn't touch you. Tricks with the boss and things like that, didn't we? And then we eventually got it down to the point where we both did it. But that was a team effort one. That I would say that was quite difficult. That we still got
Turtles in Time Reshelled hanging above our head.
Yeah, that one's tough.
That's a dreadful game.
I thought when you brought Turtles up, I thought you said you're going to spend some time in a sewer with a shell on your back and sort of channel the spirits, and then felt you were at peace with yourself to be able to sort of
cracking a load of glow sticks and rolling around in it.
That's it. Yeah, that sort of thing. Super commitment. But there you go. I mean, that goes to show that you can go to these extreme levels to get these achievements. But wow, I'd not heard that one before. That I'm still standing by that, Ross. But that's brilliant. That really is. That is fantastic.
I kind of had to learn the keyboard as well.
Oh yeah, and the keyboard.
Yeah, Rock Band 3 has a pro keyboard that you can buy, and you have to learn the keyboard with it. So.
Oh, wow. No ends to his talents. No ends at all. This is brilliant. Pedro's biggest achievement was having a poo and not having to wipe his bum afterwards. I'm not sure how many G you get for that though, but there we go. Eddie does achievements that makes
break the paper.
Yeah. Don't get any on your hands. We'll go through the paper. That's I suppose, really. I love achievements that make you play the game different to how you would normally, says Eddie. Al said the 500G on FIFA World Cup 06 is his biggest achievement. Do you know about that one, folks?
We'll see how to do that.
You have to do all the scenarios on the I think scenario mode, ironically. Most of them aren't too tricky, but there's one where you have to basically win the game after being 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go, and that one's annoying. Apparently there's a trick to doing it. I never knew about this until a few months ago, but I did it legit back in the day. And it is a tough one if you do it legit.
If you already started the game, you have to do it legit, though. Because I haven't got it. I need that one last scenario. And Rob's seen me play football games. I am not good at them.
I didn't actually bring up that PES game in the pile, actually. But I should have done. Yeah, trying to get you to score a fucking hat trick. Jesus Christ.
I thought
score a free kick, wouldn't it? Score a free kick online. I was like, do this.
he'll be going for a trial at Plymouth. He'll be going for a trial at Plymouth, won't he? Now they're trying to, channel the spirit of getting it done properly. Daddy says, love Street Fighter 2 in the arcade, and a load of kids started gathering around when you're fighting Bison. Trevor prefers Mortal Kombat. Eddie says he's attempting to be a human being so we can play The Sims. Is that The Sims? I don't know. I did type there. Trev didn't get an achievement, but he did play Le Mans 24 hours for 24 hours. I think we spoke about that before.
There's an achievement on Project Cars 2, I think it is, for that. I've done that. You have to play 24 hours in a race.
And you've done that?
I've done it. It's horrible.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I'm stunned.
You must have done it as well, but I did all of the Forza Motorsport 7 races and extra special bits and that. But one of the extra special challenges is finish a race, and that race takes nearly 3 hours, and you have to do it in one sitting, and I did. That's just part of it.
That I could probably understand, but 24 hours, goodness me. My God.
Well, no, I've picked up Project Cars recently. I can actually do it myself now.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Marcus is here. I'm arsehold and can barely concentrate. That's a funny way to go on duty, I must be honest with you. But there we go. Anyway, Sean, just on the subject of these great lengths these fine gentlemen have gone to play games. Have you ever gone anything like that to, get better at something or?
Not as such. I know, like with PlayStation, there's trophies, and occasionally I'll see a trophy notification come up, but it don't mean over to me. And maybe it should. I think Eddie, does he go for the trophies on PlayStation? Is that similar to achievements, Ross? Is it a similar kind of thing?
It's pretty much the same. I go for trophies as well.
Yeah. It's it's something I suppose I could look into it at some point, but I don't play enough faded games, I think, with me, and I probably won't really have the time to put so much time into games to get the achievements. I'm going to mention COD, but the achievement for COD to me is winning a battle royale, and I imagine it's the same kind of feeling as you guys get when you complete an achievement. There's a nice sense of for me, victory and satisfaction. So they're the only achievements I'm claiming at the minute. I suppose going back to old days, retro days, arcade days even. We're all about getting the high score and beating somebody else's high score, and that wasn't an achievement. But certainly, no, I've never certainly done out to scale of these two lads. Constantly hammering at a Gamerscore, but it's interesting to listen to, certainly.
Yeah, I agree. Danny says he's got a few achievements on Streets of Rage remake on his £5 car boot laptop. Eddie says, has anyone got the Adamantoise achievement for Final Fantasy 15?
Adamantoise?
That's just words, that is, isn't it? It's just words.
It's a 2-hour boss battle, yeah.
Yeah, and if you die, you have to start again. God.
No, because they took it off Game Pass. That's why I haven't got it.
No, I don't like Final Fantasy, so I've not even played one.
Al mentions you put hours into COD, Sean. Yes, we know that, don't we? I think.
Yeah.
I have a nice COD achievement, actually. I've got the one called Go Out and Get Some Sunshine on World at War. It's for 0G, where you have to get 10th prestige. I've got that.
Yeah, I've heard of that one and similar of the sorts. Pete's here. Pete, who's one of the panelists when he's available, can't be with us tonight, but he's watching to say he's got the Adamantoise on the PS4 anyway.
How's it got that name? What's the significance of that name? It's Eddie, explain.
Adamantoise. I don't know. Just
why?
It's some
I
sort
don't know
of
if it's a turtle or a tortoise with an adamantium shell.
yeah, because you got it's a metal, isn't it? So it must be a metal tortoise. Doesn't sound so impressive when you say it like that, does it?
The 15 Mutant Ninja Turtle called Adam. I know.
Wasn't there a mechanical turtle? Wasn't there like a robot one or something at some point, or didn't? No.
One of the enemies, I think, was because it's in the new game. There's a robot turtle as one of the bosses.
Like Mecha Turtle or something like that, or I don't know.
Can't remember his name.
Pete said it's a tortoise made of adamantium. There we go. So Pete's cleared that up.
I'm hoping it's just like a British dude and a French dude called Adamantoise. They fight at the same time.
What did you say? What's adamantium there?
Yeah.
Have you never watched it?
Adamantium.
Adamantium was a Wolverine, wasn't it? His skeleton was coated in adamantium, which made him invincible. Or, I say invincible.
Is this a real metal or just made up?
I don't know. We got any scientists in the room tonight? Rach says she won't be playing Final Fantasy 15. Possibly because it's not coming out on the Amstrad. She's still trying to finish Final Fantasy 8.
I'm going to have to let everyone down. It's a fictional metal.
It's a fictional metal. There we go. It's not real. There we go. Are tortoises real? Yeah, okay. Well, that's just another subject. Rob, you want to bring some of these games in. So do you want to, before we sort of go down an adamantium rabbit hole, do you want to bring these in?
Yeah, I can fire a few in at a time and see what Ross thinks. I have to change the camera angle a bit.
I'll give you the big screen. Hang on a second. Here we go.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. That was long. That was a lot of fights.
Yeah, doing the online on that.
And then that glitch was.
Yeah, it did, because I was keeping track of how many wins each we had, and it even tallies the amount of wins you have on screen. And we both passed, what was it, 100 or 200? And it's like, why hasn't it unlocked? And then we kept coming up with reasons and excuses to why it hasn't unlocked. And it was like, well, we did that, and maybe we didn't save because we quit out then. And so maybe we're 5 away, and eventually we stuck with it and it popped. So yeah, 200 wins turned into like 230 for me and about 245 for you or something stupid like that. But yeah,
hideous.
So I know in the True Achievement Solutions there was there were people that were complaining they had the same problem. They had to do X amount more to actually get it. But yeah, no, I mean I love fighting games, but yeah, that really tested that was an endurance test, that one, to go through that.
That's King of Fighters 13.
You had to have three players each time. If you knocked it down, it would be much easier. Yeah.
But yes, King of Fighters 13. This one is one you'd already done. Oh, we need to go back out. We need Ross reactions here.
Okay, hang on, let's go.
That's one of the worst controlling racing games you'll ever play. It is.
I still haven't finished it. We've done the online. Ross done the online for me. He's already done it many years ago. I got 1000G. Doing the online on it is actually didn't take that long, did it? It took half hour, 45 minutes to do to knock out.
Play it again.
But yeah, I made you play it again, which is bad enough. But I think you made me buy it because you said the PS3 version is ridiculous money. So I was worried that this might go the same direction. So I quickly got it as soon as possible. I don't think it has gone the direction. But yeah, I need to go back and finish it.
It might be now with all the 360 collection videos going up.
Yeah.
So that's World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. I've never even heard of that game.
No,
the funny thing about it is in your achievement list, it abbreviates it. So it says Woo Sprint Cars. it's almost like you're mocking the game, and it does deserve to be mocked because it's shit.
Is it a bit like
redneck? Even more redneck NASCAR on mud.
Gordon's in Gib 84. Sorry, Rob. Yep.
Do you remember when we went through a little bit of a tennis phase?
Yeah, I was going to say there's a slight thing. Do you want to play some more tennis? For about 6 weeks straight playing tennis games.
Yeah, it started with the Topspin ones. Topspin 4. It's got a server and the server's dead. You can't get it. But yeah, we did 2 and 3, and then I was like, well, I think there's some in 2009 Virtua Tennis we can go back and do. I think Virtua Tennis 3, which I haven't got out as well, we did some on. But yeah, we did go through a very large tennis phase at one point.
At the point where you were buying more. You were buying AO Tennis on the internet.
I still haven't played it, but yes, I have bought another tennis game. I started to get tagged because you're like tagged as the guy that gets the horse riding games, aren't you? And I seemingly have kind of developed into the guy who buys the tennis games now. But yes, God.
Oh dear. Before we bring the next one in, Rob.
Yep.
Paul's here, Ink Northern, who just finished playing Bayonetta. He also said Al made him buy that sprint cars game at Lee's Gaming Market. So I think he may feel your pain at some point.
Yeah, it's not one you see about often. So it's got one. It's got if you don't see it about often, it's got potential, isn't it, to go up in price. I think it's just hung around the price that I paid for it. But it was about a year ago we got it, I think.
Trev said he played any RPGs played and finished with Landstalker on the Mega Drive. Pete's confirmed that adamantium is made up like vibranium. There we go. So don't go and buy any shares in that tomorrow, because you won't find any. And Danny says Final Fantasy has been a relatively difficult game series. I heard the original NES version is brutal and rightly a Nintendo hard game. Okay, Rob, anything else?
Yeah, still a pile to go through. I think this one's self-explanatory, so we'll do this spine out. This one.
He's laughing and wincing every single time you bring these out at the moment.
Playing that last night, weren't we?
Formula One games. Formula One.
Oh,
some of them have been quite kind to us. Yeah, some of them have been quite kind to us. Some of them have been quite horrible to us. One is these two here definitely fall in the horrible category. I think these two here in the middle are all right. This one who just went on a bit, but wasn't too bad, if I remember rightly. Getting to level 50 online each took a bit of time, but wasn't too bad. These two knocked out quite quickly. But this one is all right, isn't it? As a game, but getting to level 50 online like that is taking forever. And the scary thing about it is when we put in a ridiculous amount of hours to try and get to level 50, and we're not, as you kindly worked out the other day and crushed my soul, we're not even halfway there. Even though we're nearly at level 40. Even though we're at level 40, we are not halfway there with the amount of XP you need to get. But at the moment, we're playing Formula 1 2012, and what the fuck have they done with the handling in this game? It is horrendous.
Yes. Even that, it's lucky we're even playing that, because they haven't taken the game offline, but you have to have an online pass to play it. But they've removed that from the store, so you have to find a valid code to be able to get the online active. It's just stupid. Yeah,
I got very lucky with this one. It had a code in the box and it worked. The funny thing about it is I bought this off Music Magpie, and it's one of the ones I got off Music Magpie, and everything inside is absolutely mint. So I'm guessing someone might have bought it to play, put it on the shelf, and never actually got round to it. So I got lucky there. Unfortunately, my Formula 1 2011 code has been used, the one that I've got in the box, because I bought that pre-owned as well. So I mean, I have been scouring the internet to buy a sealed copy of that, but it's going to cost me like 15 quid to buy a sealed copy of that game. That's the only way I know. Yeah, that's the only way I know that the code's going to work. Obviously, if it's sealed and new, then great. If anyone's got a copy of Formula 1 2011 sitting on the shelf for the 360, and you don't want the VIP pass, take a picture of the code and send it to me and let me try it out, will you? Because I want to get the online done for that as well. So I'll be going around CXs and seeing if they've got copies in stock, and I don't know, maybe taking a crafty photo of the code.
Worth a go. Worth a go.
So yeah, I need a code for 2011 still. Right. You knew they were coming at some point, didn't you? You probably know what else is coming. You probably know what else is coming at some point. But remember, you spoke about making each other buy games.
What on earth is that? Jump Force.
Well, it was going offline, and I really wanted to play it. I know it's bad, but I wanted to play it.
It wasn't expensive either. So I think it's only I went to CX, and I think I picked it up for. I can't remember if it was 4 or 6 quid. It was a low even number, but it was either 4 or 6 quid I paid for it, I think, at CEX. So it wasn't expensive.
So I'm just looking at them characters now. We got the guy on the right looks like he's out of Dragon Ball Z. The guy on the left looks like it's that Japanese character beginning with N.
Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z.
That's it. Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's is it Shonen Jump characters or whatever it's called? Everybody from there is sets of anime. It's just a big kind of series of, I don't know, I'm trying to explain. It's a kind of a fighter, but like in an arena. But it's, I don't know, it's just weird. It's generally just weird.
Yeah, we're guessing it's a licensing thing because of multiple licenses in the game. That's why they're taking it offline.
Yeah, because they took down One Punch Man at the same time, which was another one from the same company, innit?
Yeah, it's all the same sort of stuff. Rock. Do you know? So I put these in a bit of a random order. I try to mix them up so I won't genre after genre.
I'll just
But
say
even I'm wincing before I put this into view. Do you know if I'm talking like this, you know what's coming?
No.
I think very recently.
Oh God, yeah.
I'll say a quick hello to Paul Retrobates here as well, and we'll Assassin's Creed. There we go.
Has anyone ever played the online for Assassin's Creed? It is like the worst thing ever. All the game modes are exactly the same. It doesn't even make any sense. It's just walking around slowly stabbing people. That's it.
Isn't that the game though? Isn't that what the whole Assassin's Creed all based about?
It makes sense in a single player environment. How are you supposed to stalk up on like random idiots that are running around in circles?
It feels like the most shoehorned in multiplayer mode ever, honestly, and it's not fun either. It's just not fun.
Yeah, I can't even try to explain what you do in it, other than
yeah.
Can you explain it?
I suppose you got to stealthily take out your targets, basically.
It's the most tacked on thing you'll ever see as a multiplayer. It's so
It's
bad.
not even stealth, is it? Really, when you think about it, it's like blatantly obvious you're walking up to them. But
we got balls out, just legging it around at the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got
Okay.
Paul just talking about Jump Force there. Dragon Ball / One Piece world setting, awful game. I think also Assassin's Creed, awesome series of games, but awful 1000G games. Retro Chef's here. Good evening, Lee. Hope you're okay. You said you're going to pop in, so good to see you here. Glad you're enjoying it. Trev's mentioned, have you got Formula 1 2010? That was one of the ones you showed off, wasn't it, Rob, 2010?
Yeah, it's in the pile.
That
was in the pile.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, mate.
You didn't say how we ended up with one of the achievements for that, Rob.
By a complete stroke of luck. Some games have what's called viral achievements. You just have to meet another player that's got the achievement, and it starts off with you have to play one of the developers of the game is what normally happens to start it off. And it was an achievement we were both missing, wasn't it? And you contacted a couple of people on True Achievements, didn't you? That unlocked it recently. Yeah. One guy did get back to you and said he would, and I don't think he ever actually turned up and got back to us, did he?
Yeah, my mate had it and he couldn't find it, the game.
Yeah, but it suddenly dawned on me that before this is going back 2 addresses, I used to flat share with a mate of mine before he moved to Spain. And we both had 360s. Ironic, because it's the same mate whose 360 I played all those years ago, and it got me into it. And I think mine was in the living room. And anyway, he used to play. He used to have his account on it and things like that. So his account was actually on that Xbox, and I was just like, I wonder if he's got the achievement, because I know he's played it. I know he had it. And so I went through his achievement list and I saw it on there and I was like, fantastic. That's brilliant. Right. What are the chances he decided to not password protect his password? Let's have a go. Let's get an Xbox Live code out of one of the games, the free trials, whack it in and see if it works. And lo and behold, he's left his password on there, isn't he? You know, we were mates. We trusted each other. We didn't need to block them. So... yeah, so all of a sudden I'm into his account and he's got the achievement. I was like, right, Ross, I'm inviting you to a game, and that was it. So I passed the viral achievement over to Ross, and then it was like then when we played it our boosting session, then I got it. So it was an extreme case of fortune there, just pure luck. Otherwise, we probably still wouldn't have it. But yeah, that was quite an extraordinary sequence of events that night that led to a whole whopping 10G. But every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. So, yeah.
You want to do a couple more, or yeah?
Yeah, I've got 3 more, 4 games, but 3 more, 2 types to each other. Seeing as I've showed one that Ross made me buy, there's one that I made him buy because I love my fighting games. So yeah, the Samurai Showdown, which came out relatively recently, which I bought. I got everything except the online. And despite the fact this game isn't that old, and it still features in fighting game tournaments as well. Nobody's playing this online. So yeah, I found it was relatively cheap on the game collection, and I just let Ross know. And it's not difficult completion either. It's quite a fun game. It's a good fighting game. Anyway, I'm trying to convince him again, even though I've already done it once, basically here. So yeah.
As games go, it was fun. I enjoyed the 1000G on it. To be honest, it was really easy as well. So.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
See, like, you didn't win to that one. See, they're not all bad. But yeah, I like that one as well. I wouldn't say you're not going to win to the last two, but we did shoot through the only two Crash Time games that had online on them. Crash Time 4 and 5 have got online. The other 3 haven't. So yeah, we
they weren't too bad, though.
They weren't too bad to do. I mean, they're not awful games, but they go on for quite a while and they don't change much, do they? They're very, very repetitive and are very much of the same thing across 5 games. So not much difference in what you do in them, I find.
Paul's posted, I own that if you need someone to help you to the 1000G. So I'm guessing he's talking about Samurai Showdown, which you just put up.
We have both done Samurai Showdown, so if Paul needs help, we can help him. Just let us know what game he was on about, Paul, because I kind of stopped through a couple more. But if it's Samurai Showdown, we have both done it, but we can help you if you need it.
Yep.
And last but not least, I know we had an absolute blast playing this because it's just pure fun, isn't it? Just running through and blowing the shit out of people and shooting. And I know a couple of lines which we can't actually probably say on air really tickled you, and it's surprised they was allowed. But yeah, Ross had already done it. But there is achievements for playing as a member of the G unit and finishing the game, which basically means you need to be the co-op buddy to 50 Cent and do all the levels. So yeah, I got Ross to play through this with us, and so that I could get those.
Yeah, the line we can't repeat, like literally at the end, I was like, did that say that? I can't remember that going through the first time. That's something else.
What we can safely say is it was a homophobic slur, is what we can safely say. And we were just like, how did that get through quality testing?
Yeah,
it's a little bit wrong.
A dude in a helicopter keeps yelling homophobic slurs at you.
What year was that game that did it come out? You know,
I don't actually know.
2010-ish, something like that, I think, around that time.
I don't know. You have to Google it, I think.
Yeah.
Probably on the box somewhere. I don't know where to look though.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out, how long ago that actually was. If they're using that sort of language.
It somehow made it into the backwards compatible program with that.
Yeah.
As well, yeah, even with that line.
How strange.
I'll have to tell you off air.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see afterwards. Paul says Samurai Showdown. We'll give you a shout if needed. That's what he was talking about.
All right.
Congratulations to Martin at Hobby Lodge on the 1 million.
Thank you, Martin.
There we go.
I see a few people put it in now. I have been seeing the comments, but we've been busy narrowing away. Honestly, thank you to everybody. And I suppose I can say, if you tuned into the stream as well, big thanks. Honestly, that was an amazing night. It was amazing night.
30-odd people wanted it, I think you had at one point. Was that
40.
Right?
40. Hit a high of exactly 40, which is insane. Yeah. I've done streams in the past of achievement huntings and got close to 20 and thought that was amazing. But yeah, to get 40 people at one point at the peak was something else. So yeah, no, thanks, man. That was amazing. People actually, because I'm a monetized person, I got a little thing in the corner, and people actually kindly donated and bought me drinks as well. So
yeah.
When I eventually get my next YouTube payout, I will buy some beers. Don't worry. I've got to wait.
I was worried you're nervous going to get the better of you, and you're going to be stuck on that pool game all night.
Yes, that pool game.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice, that one. But as you probably in this case of the amount of games that you played, sometimes you think, this would be quite straightforward. Well, and that one turned out to be a little more tricky than perhaps you imagined, wasn't it?
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than I thought, but I mean, the stream game. I think the stream lasted an hour and a half all told, so that was what I was aiming for. So it actually worked out quite well, but probably got a little bit boring for people to watch that pool game for what was nearly about an hour of the stream, I think.
Most of it, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah.
Good for the developer. He got a few sales out of it, probably. I don't know. So
probably. I know I made Retro Kit by Zillion Games because I played the Lab Crisis one first, which took about 5 minutes. I know he bought all of those, and
Oh, right, yeah.
But no, I love playing indie games. I suppose that's another thing that we should really mention with the achievement hunting side of things. I love playing indie games, always have done, and they've been a great source of game score. I know some of them really. The word I use is bastardize the system a little bit and take away the word achievement out of achievement, really. But no, I love playing indie games. They're very pick up and play. Sort of a lot of them are retro styled, aren't they, as well? You know, you don't need to think, you don't need to learn much, and you can just play them. You're good little platformers, and discover some great little gems through doing it. Absolute stinkers as well. I know I use Brothers Tale of Two Sons has always been my stock answer for years as an example of a game that I probably wouldn't play because of achievements. That I ended up going on to absolutely love. You know, I know Ross has played it. I don't know if you two have played it. You know, it's like a you got two brothers, one's tall, one's short, different abilities. You know, short one crawls through holes, the tall one can reach things and things like that. They can do different things anyway. And you traverse your way through sort of 3D levels and to get to the end. It's also something with helping your father who's really ill as well. Really powerful story. It's really got some moments in it as well, actually, that really sort of knock you back, actually. I know there's one bit where you save a guy who's hanging himself from a tree. And that's a bit. But all the achievements in it are miscellaneous, actually. So you need to know what you're doing, and otherwise they're not like story progressional. They're all miscellaneous. And missable. That's the term. That's the achievement term. They're missable. They're not part of the story. So you need to know what you do as you're going through. But absolutely love the game. There's lots of little platformers and puzzle games I've come across that I love. I know we've joked about Roombo, haven't we, several times? Roombo First Blood.
Yeah.
You know, the top-down game where you have to prevent burglars from breaking in your house. There's a little mobile vacuum, cordless mobile vacuum cleaner.
Great idea for a game.
And then you hoover up the bodies after you're finished, you know. It's absolutely the blood of the bodies when you're finished. You need to get on it, mate. It's hilarious. It's so much fun. So much mindless fun. Really.
That Brothers is really unique as well. There's only other one game I can think of that does it. You control both brothers at the same time. Like one half of the controller controls one brother, and the other half. Yeah, the other half controls the other one. The only other game I can think of that does it is Curry Mix on PS2, which is Cookies and Cream in the US. It's a From Software title, which I'm disappointed Generation Pixel did not put in his From Software video the other day.
Just go through the comments. I'll give a question I want to ask Rob in a second. In terms of bad language, should try Rogue Warrior. Mickey Rourke said a few things that'll get him cancelled. Danny confirmed that 50 Cent was 2008 in America, 2009 in Europe. So I'm surprised that was still in. There we go. Something there. Paul mentions very quickly, Brothers is awesome. Looked at the 360. Recently played on Xbox One.
Ironically, I'm the other way around. I played it years ago on the One. And to set up that night of Gamerscore, the previous night, I needed exactly 400G. And that's how much you get out of the game on Xbox 360. So I was just like, I've got double the reasons to play it, you know. I get to set up my stream and I get to play an awesome game again. So that was the game I played the night before, or the morning of, I think, to set it up. So that's awesome.
Tresser for bad language, try GTA, Red Dead, or Mafia games. Question here from Lee, Retro Chef. How many COD achievements has Rob got compared to his good friend Sean?
A lot more than me.
Well, I don't think Sean plays the campaign, do you? So probably, a lot more. I don't play online, ironically.
It's just Warzone.
I've done most of the veteran campaigns. I haven't finished World at War, and I did start. I streamed on Twitch, didn't I? I did start Black Ops 3 campaign the other week, but I didn't like it, so I haven't gone back to it. I thought it was awful. I really did. So
Black Ops 3 on realistic is something else. It's way above veteran.
I was just blasting through it on a normal difficulty, and I just didn't like it. I didn't feel like a Call of Duty game to me. So
I think I beat all of them on veteran or realistic at the highest difficulties that are needed, apart from COD 3. I'm right at the end, and I can't beat it. I don't know why.
Oh, I've done that one.
Can't beat that one.
That's the annoying one with the tanks, isn't it? Driving around, you've got to put the bombs on them. Is that the one?
You have to keep moving the mortars by rotating both sticks. I don't know. Something about it don't work in my brain.
Yeah, persistent. Keep going. You'll get it. I know you will.
Well, I would, but every time I load it up, it says my save's corrupted. Then it loads, so I'm terrified that it's not going to unlock when I get to the
end.
Before I ask, I've got a question I want to ask Sean. Anything you want to ask Sean? Question you may want to.
I don't know if it's already been mentioned, but what is your Gamerscore at minute then, Ross?
Me?
My Gamerscore, I actually had to write it down.
Sorry, yeah.
My Gamerscore is 824,480. But I don't really go much for the Gamerscore. I go for TA score, which is like on trueachievements.com. They take your score, then they give it like compared to the amount of people who've unlocked an achievement to have played the game. So the ratio of people who haven't got it, they multiply the score by whatever that is to give you one based on difficulty. My TA score is 1,575,509.
Wow.
Which is, well, to put it in perspective of Ross's achievements, and that TA score is like 200,000 higher than my TA score, and yet my gamer score is 200,000 higher roughly than his. So, that just goes to put it in perspective how much. Honestly, I remember the first time I probably got to know Ross and added him as a friend. I was looking through his achievement list, and I was like, "Fucking hell, you finished Project Gotham Racing 3 and just things like that." It's like, wow, you finished that. I know you keep saying you're not that good. Fucking up, you are. He's really good at racing games. And I was just looking at some of the racing games that he's done. I'm just like, that's insane, man. I love racing games, but I suck at them. So yeah, he's got some really good stuff in his list. A lot better stuff than I've got. So no, fair play to you, man. You don't play a lot of shit indie games like I do, so and I have played some shit as well. There's been some really bad ones. The worst one I think I ever played was Scalextrics. Literally a one trigger game, and it crashes after every race, and you have to reload it up. It's just like, oh my god, how did this even pass any quality testing? Not only just as actually working, but as a game, it's horrendous. It's really bad.
I need to elaborate on what Chrissy's put there.
Yeah,
I was playing with her.
Yeah.
We were doing is it called Ghosts? It's like zombies, but it's aliens. And me and her were playing it. We had a console set up each, and she did all of the stuff for an achievement. Basically, I was just running around being an idiot. She sat there, and I can't remember what she had to do certain traps or something. Did it all, and I don't know how, but the achievements popped for me, but not her. And since then, she got so angry at it, and she's not gone back to it. And she calls me an achievement stealer. But I didn't do anything. It just popped. It's a separate console.
Having played Fall Guys with Chrissy, and she's not been on, although she's been on the microphone, actually not broadcasting from anybody. I can only imagine what language she was using at that time. Sort of
I had to block the kitchen. She was going for sharp objects.
Oh dear. Quality, not quantity. Ross says Stu. Let's have a look down here.
Paul, mine is a mixture of both, but Ross is definitely more quality than quantity.
I've played bad games. They're just difficult.
Paul has Scalextrics on the C64. And quick hello to Jay. LKG is back. If you've not noticed, he's been off YouTube for about 12 months, I reckon. I think, Jay. Anyway, it's been a while since I've seen you. Anyway, know you put a couple of videos out recently, and you'll be doing your chat series again very, very shortly. I think you've got Retro Chef on, haven't you? I think your first guest coming up shortly. So welcome back, mate. Good to see you, and get in touch. Be nice to catch up with you again, because I know you live fairly local to me, so it'll be good to see you again.
It's everywhere, that bloody chef, isn't he?
He is. He's even in here tonight. There's no golf or boxing on. That's why he's here tonight, anyway. Rob, one question I wanted to ask you, mate. I've just seen Paul's put a question, so I'll come to that in a second. Did you at any point on this journey think, do you know what, this is too difficult, or I'm never going to get there, or has it always been positive all the way through?
Oh, yeah, it's always been when. It's always been when, not if. Obviously, I was going to say, I always thought this was going to. I mean, going back to 360 and certainly early Xbox One, I always thought this was going to take years. So when I started the series on YouTube, I thought, well, this series has got legs, 5 minimum, anywhere up to 10 probably. Because, like I said, it was, there was a few Xbox One games that were creeping in, and they were quoted as 1 to 2 hours, and I did a few of those. But obviously it got sped up by companies again. Like I always say, they bastardized the system, they took advantage of it, and things like that. But no, I've always enjoyed it. And one thing that I appreciate what people were saying, but people always they'd just say to me, "Oh, yeah, you're only say I was online, you're only 100,000 away. Good luck with the grind." And it used to annoy me when people say, "What do you mean grind? It's not a grind." Particular achievements are. When they task you to do something 200 times, and after 50, you're like, "Oh my God, rip my soul out." I've had enough of this. But getting Gamerscore has never been a grind. It's fun. It's great. I was going to say it's a dimension of gaming that I love. It's not. If Gamerscore never existed, I'd still be a gamer. But boy, does it propels me in playing. It really raises my desire to play. As I say, just love doing it. And just to arc back to an earlier comment that Eddie said, he said it can get you playing a game in a different way. It can get more out of a game for you. You can play through a campaign and do it, and then and then you look at the achievement list, and you're still 350G short because you've got to do this and you've got to do that and you've got to find this and you've got to find that. It adds to the game. It gives you more to do. It makes you play all of the modes sometimes as well. So no, I've always loved it, and I was going to say it was always if and when, but I don't know if I'm stealing a question later, but another one I get next is, "Oh, so is this it? What's next?" And and I said it's not always been the goal; it's been a goal. We keep going as long as as long as there's breath in my body, I will always keep going because I enjoy it so much.
I know I've asked you that before now, and you answered the same way previously. It's not just a case of getting to 1 million and that's it. You're going to carry on doing it, and however you're on this journey. I always say to people, if you want to get rid of me off YouTube, get me to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll happily disappear. But doesn't seem to work so far, so I must hang around for a bit anyway. Paul's made a comment here: have Rob and Lewis on over 1 million as Xbox. And then Ross and Glory on to over 500,000. It's unreal how much of achievement all of them have hit. Chris is piped up and said, "You stole my achievements, Ross." Plus, I couldn't lock any of the achievements on the game for ages.
Yeah, I forgot it stopped her unlocking stuff on the game. I don't know why.
You can deny it as much as you want. I don't know. Yeah, quick comment there from Jay. Missed it all so much. Had so much going on. I know you've moved house as well. So look forward to seeing how that turns out, mate. That'll be good to see you back anyway. Full set wanker on TA Quest is a new goal, surely, Rob.
That's always a goal, yeah. Let's say TA TrueAchievements.com do a thing now where they do medals, and they do a bronze, silver, and gold every month now. And obviously, we've been members of the site for years, and so when it came in, we was there from the start. I think they've been doing it how many months now? I went through. Is it 5 months now they've been doing it? I think 4 or 5 months now they're doing it. And I've got all of them, and I've got all gold. I mean, they're not overly difficult, to be honest with you. They just take a little bit of time and sometimes a little bit of planning. But yeah, as long as they keep making these medals, I'll keep going for them, things like that. But True Achievements is just a great website because, with all the easy gamer score that is out there nowadays, it can break it down, and you've got things like a true achievement score, which is already mentioned. You've got your true achievement ratio as well that you can work on. You can see leaderboards for specific things like just 360 gamer score, things like that. Something personally not only would I like to work on it now, I'd like to actually really focus on playing some of 360. I've got so much that I haven't played, and it kind of gets left because I keep playing the newer stuff, the Game Pass stuff, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to make a bit of a focus on 360 stuff, and I've got an idea for the new year in 360 that's going to delve into my collection. So yeah, keep an eye out for that when I decide to pull the trigger on it. So the new year's not that far away, I suppose now, but yeah, got a 360 idea to do next year.
I have a question for Rob because I don't know the answer to it.
All right.
Because I looked mine up earlier because I didn't know what it was. Do you know what is your completed games? How many you've done, like to everything according to TA?
Yeah, it's right next to me. Apparently, I've completed 705.
Oh,
Wow.
See, now I'm a bit disappointed because I've only got 698. But what was that one?
Well, you're only 7 behind. I mean, it's not bad, is it? Really? I mean, yeah. Between the pair of you completing the, between the numbers are nearly 1,400, but you're only 7 behind. It's not bad, is it? Really?
It's not too bad. At least like it. I've played apparently 1,192 games, so it does.
How many?
I do play what's behind me. 1,192.
That's really freaky.
What have you played?
Add one.
Oh Jesus! I need to find one.
Yeah, I'm one ahead of you.
So you 1 ahead and 7 ahead in terms. That is weird, isn't it?
That is strange.
all the games that you pair have played and completed and got through, and the numbers are that close together. That's insane.
I wasn't expecting. I was expecting Rob's to be way higher with a lot of the. He does a lot of the easier ones.
Yeah.
I thought his completion would be way higher.
I play a lot more indie, but your history of 360 is higher as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
where I've caught up by playing indie games, I've been catching up because you played a hell of a lot more 360 stuff. So every time I go, you're always like, yeah, done it.
I think I've got 400 or 500 of them I've completed 360 games. So I didn't do much last generation and this generation.
Well, 360 completed games. Mine's a fraction of yours. That's nowhere near the same. According to TA, it is, where are we? 118. So way behind.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's somewhere in the 400s. I think mine is.
But my Xbox One games are 504. So
yeah,
I finished quite a few of those.
Dwarfs mine.
Danes has eaten too much pizza. If anybody can quick update on that one. 20th Century Gaming's here. Hello, nice to see you again, my friend. I think you were on the popped in towards the end of our last one, so nice to see you back. Eddie's also back. He's at the Take the Dog Out. A couple of questions incoming for you. Paul, Link Northern says, of all the games you've hit 1,000 G on, what has been your favourite one to play for the G? Rob?
I suppose it harks back to the first one, doesn't it? I don't know if it's my. I suppose if you're talking favourite, you're talking about enjoyed. I suppose as a gamer score list. Cool. That's going to take some thinking. I've got to be honest with you. Any springs to mind for you, Ross?
Ones I truly enjoyed. Sega Rally. That was amazing. It's stupidly easy, and it gets to a halfway point, then it becomes like the hardest thing known to man. But like an actual completion of that, I enjoyed the hell out of it because it was just a challenge. As much as I love the Guitar Hero games, I actually really enjoyed beating DJ Hero. That was real good fun. And strangely, was a recent one, Power Washing Simulator. Loved it.
I've heard about that.
I can't praise that enough. I want a sequel and I want one now. Literally. I need to wash more stuff. Give me DLC. I want to clean the moon.
Oh dear. Well, Rob's still thinking. Hang on a second. Al's got 220 completions. Stu's asked a quick question of what's TA. It's not the Territorial Army, as Dane's quite rightly pointed out. True Achievements, which Paul's pointed out, there's an equivalent on PS called True Trophies. I do feel
if I didn't go for trophies as well, I could be at the million right now. I do have like 150 platinums. should have stuck to one.
Yeah.
Insane achievement. Have you got an answer for that question, Rob? Are you still thinking?
No, a lot of the games I enjoyed, I don't think I've 1,000 G'd. A lot of games are popping into my head, like Dead Space and things like that. Gears of War. Because of the seriously achievements, I never really finished them. But if you're looking for one that I finished, I am struggling.
Admit it, it's Hannah Montana and My Horse and Me Too.
Well, I will say I enjoyed Hannah Montana a lot more than I expected. I'll give it that.
I've always said
And
those
you said
games
the same
surprised
thing, so don't give me shit.
I honestly, I didn't mind Hannah Montana. I thought about doing it on the PS3.
Yeah, you can get it for 50p. I mean, there you go. So it's whatever it is.
If you're talking about just enjoyment, I always enjoyed a lot of the Telltale games. Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, possibly one of the best ones. And I always think the Tales of the Borderlands one always goes a little bit under the radar and a bit forgotten by people when they talk about Telltale games. I really enjoyed those. If you're talking about, I mean, they're not difficult, but if you're talking about enjoyment level, they're something that's cropped into my head. But no, yes, it's hard to think when he's done. He's trying to remember all 705. But yeah.
Well, we'll leave that. If you come back to it, we'll leave that for the moment anyway. Quickly from Gordon, somebody's absolutely loving Power Wash Simulator, as Ross mentioned there. Eddie wants to know, has Ross actually bought a real power washer since he started playing it?
I already own one.
He's already got one. There we go. Al's off to work, possibly.
See you later, Al.
Quick question. Something that confirmed to 20th Century Gaming. What is 1000G? Yeah, and he plays C64 games.
That's generally the total amount of game score. Well, it used to be a fixed amount, but obviously some games have DLC added. A lot of the indie titles now have the ability to add, but basically 1000G is the gamer score that every 360 game had. So it almost becomes sort of like the term for saying the completion at the time. So I've got the 1000G. I've got the completion. Kind of mean the same thing.
It's just 100%. You've done pretty much everything. All the little challenges that they give you. It's like almost like a checkpoint for every challenge towards the 100%.
I'll take a question from Chrissy, then I'll take a question from Rach in the chat. Chrissy asks, has there been any games that you've enjoyed but it's been ruined by the achievements? That's an interesting one.
It's a very interesting one. You know what? I could almost say TMNT Arcade, which we brought up earlier, because I fucking love that game. That's my childhood there. And learning that game and playing it so much and being frustrated because you're limited to 10 lives in the online mode. Yeah. Really frustrated me at times.
I know what has been ruined by achievements for me. It's Call of Duty. I genuinely used to like Call of Duty. Like, apart from Call of Duty 3, up until Black Ops, I think it might be Black Ops. I've got all achievements on everything. But all the zombie modes they kept bringing out, and you have to do like Easter eggs where you've got to get people and you have to down a zombie and you have to run around and start shooting certain things and do stupid. I can't be bothered with that. That ruined the game for me, because in my mind I've got OCD with it. I've got to complete everything, and going back and having to do that, it's actually stopped me buying Call of Duty.
Wow.
I'm just wondering that. Yeah, you just. Yeah, it's an interesting question. That I hadn't really contemplated it. Rach has asked some on the same lines. Once you've completed all the achievements, do you ever go back to a game just for the enjoyment, or do you tend not to play them again?
Oh yeah, do play them again. It wouldn't stop me playing again. Like Gears of War 4 is just a pure fine example of that, because I mean, I haven't got every achievement in it. Some of them are just brutal. I've got a lot of it. I've got a lot of tough ones. Done a lot of the inconceivable achievements and things like that. I used to pump so much time into that. I played that game for well over 1,000 hours. I think we've discussed it in the past. I think we worked it out, and it's like, oh my god, I spent months of my life playing that game. If you added it, if you worked out the time. So yeah, don't stop me playing them. Never stop.
About you, Ross?
No, it doesn't stop me. I do go back to the odd one from time to time. Usually if it's story-based stuff, I don't, because most story stuff's one and done for me. And I try to get it all in one go. And if I've gone back through and looked for everything, that's it, that game's done. But yeah, as I said, games like Tetris and stuff and all those ones, I go back and play them. Same with the rhythm games. I just love rhythm games, so I go back and play them. So yeah, and like arcade games, like, it's easier to fire up the 360 or like the Xbox One and anything that's like backwards compatible to play. Like, you want to play Pac-Man, it's easier to do it on that than it is to like find someone else to play it on. It's just all in one place. So That's why I see it.
I regularly use my 360 to play the Simpsons Arcade, actually, as well. I've got that on there. It's been delisted now, sadly, for licensing reasons. But yeah, I go back and play that on there occasionally. I did think of a game, by the way, that was a fun 1000G that I really enjoyed, and I just bring up this again.
Gravel. Yeah,
brought up a few times actually in the past. Really, really good game. Not expensive either. A lot of fun, that one. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed the 1000G on that. That was fun to play.
Dainter says, Sean, don't let him chat crap about COD. stand up for your livelihood, mate. Has Ross tried to power wash a Ferris wheel yet in real life?
Once a year, there's one near my house. I'll be there.
Eddie says you'll be pleased. You'll be glad The Last of Us is not on Xbox. The 1000G would break you, but at least you would have a good game to play. Another question that sprung to mind here. Particularly in Rob's case, because I only buy a lot of the indie games. Is there a game you've bought specifically because of to get a 1000G or to get the Gamerscore off it, or has it just been a case of you just buy them and unlock whatever there is?
I think this falls under the Zillion category. The guys that literally they make a game just because they want easy gamers. They sell it basically on easy Gamerscore. I mean, they're not even awful games, to be honest with you, but that's exactly what they are, because they actually broke a rule and they got slapped on the wrist from Xbox. Like a couple of their games, when they first made them, they made a legit achievement list. They were actually achievements. They were actually difficult to do. They took some time on that, but an Achievement Guide YouTube channel, which I won't mention, decided to contact the developer and said, if you make your achievement list easy, then you probably find your sales will go up. And they decided to do that. So they changed their achievement list to easy ones, and they got slapped on the wrist and got told to change them back. But if you unlocked them while they was easy, they still stayed unlocked. So you didn't lose your Gamerscore for that. I luckily got in with a few of them before they changed it back, because they're not. One of them was a point-and-click adventure, which I'm not a big fan of that genre anyway. It wasn't fun to play. One of them I didn't get in time, and I've still got to go back and do the early ones legit. But yeah, you also got this company to periodically add 1000G every 6 months, which they're allowed to do up to 5000G, which they are now doing. So everyone kind of buys them just for a lot of people buy them just for the Gamerscore, because it's almost just to keep up with everybody else if you're that way inclined. But yeah, they're not the first company to do it. They probably won't be the last. I know Ratalaika were the first company to really do it, Ratalaika Games. And then there's a company called Chili Dog Interactive, which their games would be tough, but they put a cheat code into all their games, so it makes them easy if you just want the Gamerscore out of it. So the companies that say they are playing the system to up their sales, which is a shame, really. Which is a shame. I've always, I've actually sort of developed. I had an idea which I'd love to see. I always said maybe they should just rename it, not call it achievement anymore, and actually say Gamerscore Unlocked. But I actually come up with an idea recently, which I'd love it if Xbox could do. But instead of changing it to Gamerscore Unlocked, sort of have both, because if it's unlocked by 10% or less of people, it pops up as a rare achievement. It makes a different noise as like a crystallized diamond as part of the thingy. If it's over 10%, it just makes a regular noise with normal picture and so on. So I'd love it if Xbox could perhaps make the rare ones come up as achievement unlocked, and anything that isn't rare just comes up as Gamerscore Unlocked. I don't know. I think that would be kind of a happy medium to my idea. Literally,
I think that would work pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah.
Let's see, and that's know where it's gone, but
I was gonna say, when it comes to buying stuff for just for achievements, that's what turned me into a collector of 360 stuff.
Right.
I used to collect other stuff, but I started the Xbox and I got a bit hooked on the achievements, and I thought, I'll buy random stuff. I was like, I can get some achievements out of that. I don't know what it is, but I'll try it. And the amount of games I tried that I ended up loving, I was like, okay, this library is way more solid than you think it's going to be. And I just end up trying to buy it all. It was literally the achievements that dragged me into the collection of 360 stuff.
Hearing you say that, it's kind of realised that I'm actually the same. I've done the same thing, basically. Like you said, we both got My Horse and Me Too. We've Hannah Montana, we've 1000G. I 1000G Connect Sesame Street TV. You know, I can't honestly say that those games are ones that I've discovered that I really liked. But do you know a game that I 1000G'd and can honestly say I absolutely loved? Actually, this one popped into my head now was the Captain America game on a 360. I heard that wasn't a bad 1000G to do. It took, I don't know, 20 odd hours or whatever it was. And I thought, yeah, I'll play that. And what a game. What an absolute game. I absolutely loved that. So there's another one that I loved. And
the 360 one I can chuck in there is Rango.
Oh, I got that relatively recently. I haven't played that yet.
Johnny Depp Chameleon game is a genuinely really good 3D platformer. Same as I also quite enjoyed Ratatouille.
Oh, right. Yeah. I quite enjoyed Up as well. Disney's Up. That was quite fun.
Right. They're games I would never have bought, but because they were cheap, it was, why not? Give them a shot.
That's it, you say. You know, people. I've always said to people walk past these cheap games because they're on the impression because they're cheap, they're no good, but they're the ones that surprise you most of all. And in some cases, the one you get probably more enjoyment out of than ones you spend a bit more on, and you get an all right experience from it. So it's
also I picked up a lot of cheap ones, not knowing what they were. Give them a shot, and they've turned out to be some of the top expensive ones now. Like Dodon Patchy cost me, I think it was 49p in game when it was closing down. It's not like a 40 quid game.
There we go. So the up and down nature of the market. Just go back to your comment there, Rob, about the achievement system. Eddie said that sounds like the PlayStation trophy system, and Stu said it's exactly like the trophy system. So I don't get enough trophies on PlayStation to confirm that, I'm afraid. So I can't actually agree with that at all. Gordon says it would be cool to get actual rewards for achievements, trophies, like even 5p in your store wallet.
I can write that. You used to get stuff. I used to get given free codes for things all the time because of my Gamerscore from 360, and Microsoft gave me my Xbox One for free because I was high up enough in the country to score. So they used to do it. But I think this has been eroded due to the fact of all these, say, Zillion games where you can get 5000G in under 5 minutes. So they've stopped doing it. It's going to happen with PlayStation.
I did say it would have been nice if it had chucked us even a £10 code for getting to 1 million, but yeah.
Comment from Sandy Lane Boy 98 says, "Keep up the great work, gentlemen." So there we go. Congratulations once again on the achievement, Rob. Gordon says, "Well, that's cool, so that's good." Sean, have you got anything to add at the moment?
No, not really.
That's right. I'm just aware you're sat there at the moment, and you know,
I'm just happy listening, mate. I'm happy listening.
All right.
Another thing I would like is true achievements. If you do complete a game, true achievements will tell you where you are on the site as in regards to the person to have finished it. So, you know, you'll beat a game, you'll log into your account and say you are the 932nd person to finish this game. I actually very, very recently cracked the top 10. I was 9th to finish Capcom Arcade Stadium 2. I was actually the 9th person on the site to finish it.
Wow.
And my poor Xbox was left literally switched on for about 3 days straight because one of the achievements requires you to play for 100 hours. So, I left it hooked up with a game, which you can't die on, with Invincibility, and just left it running like 3 days, nearly 3 days straight, because I was determined to get into this top 10. And, I started and there was like 3, 4, and it's like, guys, going into the day that I got it, it was 7, and before I could get home, it was 8, and I was like, I haven't popped it yet. And then I got it. Literally, I stayed up to 3 in the morning. I was like, I'm doing this. I don't care. I'm doing this because I found another way of speeding it up. And then I got it and I was 9th. And then literally about half an hour later, somebody got 10th. And I thought that would still be an achievement for me, but single digits does feel a lot better than double. So, and the good thing about it is if you go to the game's homepage, there's a leaderboard for every game. And if more than 10 people have done it, then it'll only display the first 10 on the homepage that have done it. So I'm actually immortalized on the homepage of a game on the website now, because I was the 9th person to finish it.
I've got a first to complete on PlayStation. I think I might have a first on Xbox. But what annoys me about the PlayStation one is if you go to the Xbox version of the game, they credit me because I put up a video showing how to complete something because no one could work out how to do it. Because I contacted the developer because I'm a sad bastard to find out how to do it. And yeah, even my YouTube video never got any views from it. So,
Oh.
but yeah, I got first on that. I should have done the Xbox one as well and got first on that as well, and probably been branded a cheater. But I think the idea I put the video up is what stopped that.
Question from Eddie. I think get a good question as well. Is there a game from another system that you would like to have on the Xbox to get G with?
Street Fighter 5. Straight away. It's literally the only reason I contemplate buying a PS4 for years, because Street Fighter 5 became a PS exclusive. Thankfully, Street Fighter 6 will be multi-platform. But yeah, Street Fighter 5 straight away. Love Street Fighter. I've never played Street Fighter 5 because it was a PS4 exclusive. I thought about it, but buying a console for one game, it doesn't warrant spending the money for me, so I haven't. But yeah,
Ross?
definitely.
Ross?
No, because I play both, so I don't see much point. What I would like is the games that come out on PS4, which are on disc on PS4, to be on disc on Xbox, but they're only ever digital. There's so many that just come out digital on Xbox, but PS4 you can buy discs of them. So.
A question again for Rob, and I'm sort of thinking about, you know, your journey for this, because we mentioned right at the very start, you know, you've had your Xbox account for 12 years, and the date you passed the million mark is going to be etched in your memory forever. But for people out there who are perhaps watching this and not quite sure what it's all about, who are thinking about trying to do the same sort of thing, what advice would you give for somebody who wants to start out on a similar journey? Because, you know, obviously the time it's taken to put in, obviously the time you spent playing with Ross as well, it's been quite considerable. So have you got any advice that you would give somebody who'd be interested in trying to do the same achievement as you?
I would say only start if you love doing it. It should never, like I said, but when I mentioned people going, oh, you know, good luck on the grind, and it annoyed me that people refer to it as a grind. You know, it's a love. It's something I enjoy doing. You have to enjoy doing it if you're well, I don't want to say just in it for that, because if you're just in it for Gamerscore, are you really enjoying the game, sort of thing, at the same time? So the two kind of have to marry up. You have to enjoy your gaming, you have to enjoy getting Gamerscore at the same time. And if you develop a love for doing both, then it just do it naturally. Do it how you want. Don't listen. There are people online that get a little bit elitist about how you do it. They say, oh, don't buy all these easy games, you know. You shouldn't be doing it like that. But don't let anybody dictate how you should do it. If you just want to buy easy games and build up your score like that, if you enjoy doing that, go for it. You know, then there should no barriers should be ever put up in the way of doing it. And you know what? Some people it really ignites them into gaming again as well. It's a shame that Al's gone, because I'd love to ask Al, because a lot, you know, people give Al a lot of stick, didn't they? For like, oh, you got all those games and you don't really play them. They give him a lot of stick for that. But ever since he's kind of got into achievements, I've noticed he's playing more and more. He's getting a bit expansive about what he plays as well. You know, it's opened up to him a side of gaming that he seems to really enjoy as well. He really seems to enjoy getting achievements out of it as well. So, you know, good luck to him. So, but yeah, the one thing that annoys me is when people kind of say, oh, you shouldn't get the easy stuff. I know some people like to only go for the tough stuff and have their true achievement ratios be really high and look low, but some people just like getting the score and just want to get a bigger score as possible. So yeah, honestly, enjoy it and don't let anybody dictate to you how you should do it. Do it how you want to. That is honestly the best advice I think I could personally give someone. I don't know if Ross has got anything else to add to that.
Not really. Just enjoy it. If you're not enjoying a game, as a completionist, I will power through them, but it doesn't mean you have to. There's always there's like unlimited Gamerscore almost now, that it comes out so fast daily that if you don't want to sit there and play something that you're not enjoying, don't do it. I'm just a weirdo and do it.
You know, I mean, I got stuck in a little rut sometimes of, it's got discontinued achievements. So I don't want to put that on my car because I can't get the completion. I got a lot more lax probably quite a few years ago now in doing that. And again, it just raises the level of enjoyment. Just get as much as you can out of a game. If you don't worry about the completion. Like I say, if you are a completionist, then that's a completely different ball game, and that's something in your head that you have to work with. But I would say, yeah, don't worry about being a completionist unless it really does bother you that much. But yeah, you'll play so much more games and enjoy so much more if you can get past that barrier.
I've seen so many people start tags again because something they started ages ago now has a discontinued achievement. It's just write that off. Like, don't start again. Don't delete everything and just go from square one. There was a guy I saw on Facebook earlier, was on his third tag because people kept like achievements became unobtainable or something would glitch on him. I was like, don't do that. You can't get 100%. It's not possible anymore. It's not worth trying.
Some of the ones you may already have might now have discontinued stuff. So why do that?
Yeah, you're losing out on stuff you've already beaten. So.
Paul, yeah, quite right. He echoes that. Do it your own way. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. Just going back to a couple of games that were mentioned about possibly going on to one of the Asdid 4 on the Xbox would be great. Says Trev. Danny says that was criminal that Street Fighter 5 wasn't released on the Xbox One. He did buy a PS4 to play it. I know. So you said not long ago, Rob, that you would have contemplated doing that yourself. Eddie had to stop playing Toy Story 3 after Ross said how good it was.
It's good.
In terms of the achievement, just very quickly, I've got a good question from Chris. I'll ask for a second, but just something that comes to mind. When you hit this million gamer score, you don't get sent a special certificate or money pops out your Xbox slot, or Bill Gates can turn up and give you a handshake and say well done and pat you on the back. It's personal achievement at the end of the day, isn't it? You don't get anything for it.
No, not nowadays, sadly. But I was going to say, it would have been nice, but I don't need something for it at the same time.
Let's go back to what you were saying just now, what Ross was saying, and what Paul said. It's all about you wanting to do that. That's your achievement, and to pass that mark is something that's very special to you. You're not doing it because you're going to get something at the end of the day. And sometimes
I also find
lost in things, doesn't it?
An achievement list helps your backlog. Like, I see things I can add it to my list, and or things that I've not finished but they're in my backlog. Like, because the backlog's real, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So it reminds me. I'll just scroll through what I've played and be like, I haven't finished that. I'll go back and finish that, and it spurs me on as well. That's another random thing that achievements do.
I tell you something. If I ever come across a gamer who's got no backlog, I'm going to pack it in, because there's no one has got a backlog. Everybody's got one. I don't care how many tens or thousands or whatever it is that comes out. Very, very quickly, if I take the Chrissy question, Sandy Lane Boy said, imagine if they made a Philips CDI Mini. Dana's still waiting for the Game Boy Micro Mini. That's size.
Hey, I've got one. It's right here.
Yeah.
It might be the only thing smaller than that Game Gear Mini.
Yeah. Oh dear. Chris's question: what game have you most looked forward to playing but ended up really disappointed in? Or what game were you not looking forward to but ended up really enjoying? Ross, no horse games. Rob, first of all. Sorry, that was me. So you can read it again.
Like I say, Red Dead 2. Really look forward to playing that. I stupidly was looking forward to it so much. I paid for the all-in version, which cost like 70 quid digitally. Waited for midnight. Played it for a few hours, and just found it boring. And I really enjoyed the first one. So that one springs straight to mind for something I was looking forward to and disappointed in. Other way round, I'm struggling at the moment. So I don't know if Ross has got an answer for either. And I'll have a think. What was I looking forward to? And then end up not. What game were you not looking forward to but end up really enjoying? Don't know. Suppose it's going to be a Game Pass sort of thing.
I was say something I was looking forward to, and ended up really hating. I'm going to get some flack for this. Actually, two of them I can think of. First one is Skyrim. I loved Oblivion. I played through it multiple times. I did one where I did nothing but I had to play as a naked toucan man. He wasn't really toucan, but I just made him a big nose and kind of painted him black with an orange. He looked like a toucan. And I could do nothing but pants and fists and beat the whole game that way. That was good fun. Went to Skyrim and I hated everything about it. But everyone says that's like one of the greatest games ever. But something about it, there's no naked toucan. That's what it was. The other one that I was really looking forward to, because I really like RPGs. Like on the Xbox 360, there wasn't many of them, but I loved a Blue Dragon. I sat there and 1000G'd that. I 1000G'd Lost Odyssey, Eternal Sonata. I got 1000G on that. So I thought, when I saw that Infinite Undiscovery was coming out, I was like, okay, that looks interesting. I'll give that a shot. And it's one of the ones I bought on release, and it's one of the worst games I've ever played. I've got about 100G on it. Never went back to it. Only because you get to certain, like, it's got stupidly long checkpoints between save points. You'll go through like 2 bosses and you haven't had a save point. And it's dreadful. It's dreadful. And there's these 2 weird, creepy twins in it that keep dancing around, singing about something about pudding or something. I don't know what they were talking about. It was weird.
Oh, dear me. Rob, have you thought one yet?
But it's hard to do it the other way around, because if you're not looking forward to something, you're generally not going to buy it. So I can only really relate to buying indie games for cheap because you hear they've got easy Gamerscore, and then end up playing them. So it's just going to arc back to talking about Brothers again, isn't it? And Roomba and things like that. You buy them, not looking forward to them. A lot of these indie games, and you end up really enjoying them. So there's been a few puzzle platformers over the years, and just platformers in general. I remember buying Awesome P and not knowing what that was going to be like, because that was cheap, the Game Boy looking platformer, and actually ended up really enjoying that.
You spoke about that on the podcast previously, certainly. I remember that.
So I guess it's just the lottery of indie games is all I can really say there about not looking forward to, because that's the only reason why I buy games without knowing what they're like. So I'm not looking forward to them because I don't know what they're like. I suppose, do you know what? Another one I could chuck into, I suppose, look forward to playing and end up being disappointed in is actually the Horde mode, specifically in Gears 5. I love the campaign. I love playing Horde mode in Gears. But the Gears 5 Horde mode really didn't do it for me. And there's achievements in that I could probably go for if I wanted to get invested into it, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like what they did with it. So I suppose there's that as well. That's another game I pay. I pay for the physical version to be delivered to my house the morning it came out. So just left disappointed with my favourite mode in it, basically.
I know one that I randomly picked up that ended up being such an amazing game is one we've talked about earlier on today, which is Driver San Francisco. I picked it up thinking it was going to be dreadful because the couple of drivers beforehand were just. They were bad, weren't they? Like Driver 3 and Parallel Lines was okay-ish. But San Francisco turns out to be one of the most enjoyable racing games and driving games you can play on the 360. It is every mission's like completely varied. You can jump in and out of cars and cause pile-ups. It's almost got like a burnout crash mode to it that you can just any mission. Like it's like, stop the guy in front of you. You can like come out of your body, get into a car that's coming down the other way and wipe people out, and just it's just good fun. Like that is one that people like. I think they get surprised by it when they play it.
Do you know what? You obviously know the answer to this when I say here, because I exactly the same. I played it recently because the servers were closing for it, so I wanted to get the online done before it did. I ended up playing the game and loved it. For all the reasons that Ross has just explained. Obviously, I don't need to say it again, but yeah, absolutely, that should have been my answer, because that's absolutely spot on. It's a fantastic game. For those of you who are watching, and if you're interested in playing the online, it goes offline on September the 1st, so you don't have long left. But I've 1000G'd that recently, and because I loved it so much, didn't just do the online and go, I'll go back to it. I just kept playing it. It's a fantastic game.
Got literally 10 days to get online and do it, so. There you go. Right, I'm going to take this question. It'll be the last one of the night then. So it's from Paul, Wink Northerner. If the 1 million G was awarded with something digital, do you think it would draw you into going for the 1 million? Hypothetical for Rob and Ross, I guess. Sean?
There you go, Sean. Would it draw you into going for Gamerscore if they awarded you something for getting to 1 million?
Get money, yeah, definitely.
You'll be
Bunt it all up anyway. Yeah,
you'll be like, yes, I've got that tenner, but Sean just spent like 100 grand in game.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice if such as Microsoft and even Sony did offer you something, you know, for getting all these achievements and awards. In the day, you're putting a lot of time into their systems and promoting their systems, such as Rob's videos, definitely promoting, you know, the Gamerscore and that. So, yeah, I think it would be a good idea, and yeah, I reckon I would get involved with it if there was something at the end of it. Yeah.
I mean, if it was me, I don't think so. I don't think it would make any difference to me at all if you did or you didn't. Because I don't think, first of all, I'd get anywhere near it for a start, and I don't think I'm committed. I don't think I'm committed enough to do something like that. I mean, I know, as Rob said, you know, you get into it for the right reasons. I just couldn't see myself sitting down and being committed enough to go through it. I'd probably get to a certain point and then think, well, I've got so far, I've still got this to go, and I'm never going to get there, sort of thing. I'd probably lose faith in it. So, no, I can't see me being drawn in to do that. I mean, would it have made any difference to you, Rob, at the start or not?
Absolutely not. No, it'd have been a bonus along the way. It's quite simply the answer, really. Yeah, just been a bonus along the way.
I want to flip this on its head a bit. Not for a award or anything for it. I'm saying, like, if Nintendo offered something the same as Gamerscore, I'd play more of their games. Like, being Nintendo month, I'm fine with retro games and stuff not having Gamerscore, because they're short little experiences, most of them. You can beat most retro games in 45 minutes, can't you? Unless it's an RPG or something. But when you start getting to the Switch era and games are like 60 to fucking 150 hours long, I kind of want a little bit of something just to know my progression in it. I don't know if that's a weird thing to do. Like, I haven't done much. I've played four or five games this Nintendo month, and every time, even though there's been games that there was a game that like proper hooked me and I was start to finish on it, but still I felt I would have preferred to play that on the PlayStation with the trophies or Xbox with the achievements.
I know Lee agrees with you on that one, certainly. Quick question from Dana before we finish. Does Rob know who is the highest gamer scorer in the world, and when is he going to stop messing about and overtake them?
I'll tell you what, you pay me to sit at home and play games all day and pay for the games, I'll go for it. But I know Stallion83 was the first guy to do the million, and then even he decided to step back and just not really push for it as much, because I think it got ridiculous for him, you know. And I believe the leader in the world is a gamer tag called Redemption Denied now. He's past the 3 million mark. I can't remember exactly how much. I think they're called Redemption Denied.
3 million. Wow. How long has that taken him?
24 hours going with the Satillion stuff.
Yeah. I know of them, but I don't know them, but yeah.
There we go. Right, well, anybody want to add anything before we finish? Anything else anybody wants to say before we wrap this one up?
Just congratulations again on Rob for the million. I don't have it on video saying it, so here goes. Congratulations. It's absolute mental accomplishment. So
I do want to do my thank yous. Do you want me to do them now? No,
but mate, yeah.
But no, it's a lot of it is thank you to literally absolutely everybody. I know I thank Ross personally. He deserves a massive thanks again for the big chunk that he's helped. Thank you to everybody who watched the stream and the moment it happened live. It made it extra special, you know. People who bought me a drink because of it as well. Thank you very much. Honestly, that's where that money is going, 100%. Just everybody that ever watched a video, clicked a video. I know I do a lot of shit on my channel that isn't to do with achievements, but I know the majority of my subscriber count is there to watch the achievement stuff. So, I mean, everybody there that's watched that has kind of spurred me on to keep that sort of video series going. I mean, I've always kept Gamerscore going, but kept that video series going. I suppose it has kept a little bit of focus on it for me. You know, I do worry about perhaps I haven't done enough for the video. So thanks to everyone that's watched, liked, commented. You know, you have kind of spurred me on it in a way to do that. And yeah, do you know, I know I'm going to miss people when I say this, but it literally is just everybody, absolutely everybody. Is going to say watched, helped, commented, liked, been part of the live stream. Everybody. There's nobody that should be excluded from a thanks.
Yeah. Well, I think on behalf of everybody watching and who's watched you over the years, and whether they watch your stream live or watch your Gamerscore updates, they've listened to us before previously when we used to do the old pre-recorded episodes and listen to your Gamerscore updates each time you're on. And I think from behalf of everybody, I want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure being on the journey with you. We're so proud of you for achieving this. So many of us were there that night to do it as well. And from me personally, a round of applause for you for doing that. And I'd like everybody to show their appreciation in the chat as well. And then we'll be with you for however long you want to go on it, mate. Up to 2 million next, as Lee, I think, pointing out a few minutes ago. Yeah.
Fuck it, let's do 10 million. Let's go. Let's get another digit. That'd be a hell of a journey.
Last year's more of F1, for fuck's sake.
but no, yeah, I think you just worded it quite well there. Literally, thanks to everyone who's been part of the journey. Literally, no matter how minuscule or how largely involved you've been in it, it's literally just a big thank you to everybody. And it was kind of an unreal moment, but very real at the same time when it happened. So
yeah.
But I get a lot of people ask, some sort of form of update video will carry on. By the way, I get a lot of people ask me, does that mean no more update videos? It won't be the same format, but there'll still be an update video. Probably won't talk about everything, but I'll talk about the completions or something. So for those people that do enjoy and watch those, have been watching the series and the journey, I think I'm going to call it something like 1 million Gamerscore and beyond or something. Something like that. We'll carry on. Don't worry. There'll be updates for everybody that's been part of the journey and enjoyed those videos. So, but yeah, no, thanks to everybody. And like I said, everyone's been part of it, and it's been awesome because, this man is a fine example, and so both of you have just made friends out of doing it and bringing it to YouTube as well. So, I've got to kind of wait. Thank YouTube as well, I suppose. Rightly so. But,
lots of congratulations in the chat as well. So,
and thanks to everybody that said that. I know a lot of people have said it, so thank you to every one of you. Honestly, big thanks to you all.
That's great, Ross. Thank you very much for coming on tonight and showing your appreciation for Rob. I know you've been a big part of it as well. Certainly over the last 12 months, certainly trying to help him push on and do all this buddy playing and doubling up and all that stuff as well. So it's great to have you on again. We've had you on before. Great to have you back again.
Yeah,
and
great. Always come on. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I hope we have you on again. Sean, thanks very much for coming on again. And
I hadn't had much to input, but main thing was being here for Rob's achievement.
We love having you here, though. That's the main thing, mate.
That's it. Yeah. It's not the same without you now. You'll
not the same without your smile and laughter. It brings so much alone.
He'll be hosting it soon, Rob. That'll be what he's doing.
Okay.
Let's be honest, he is the real star here, isn't he? We all know that.
I'm not leaving anybody in charge after left me in charge a couple of weeks ago. Oh dear. Anyway, guys, I'm going to drop you backstage, but once again, thanks very much for your time again tonight, and I'll catch up in a second. Just drop you backstage. Wave goodbye, everybody, if you wouldn't mind. Here we go. And they're off. Right, there you go. So thanks very much for joining us this evening to celebrate Rob's achievement. It is a fantastic achievement. I've learned a fair bit tonight about the process and some of the ins and outs of it. I hope you have as well. Thanks to everybody who's been in the chat this evening. So many of you have been part of that journey as well. Nice to see some familiar names there, some names I haven't seen for a few weeks. And others who with a regular basis. So great to have you all on. Thanks very much indeed for finding this extra special episode, which wasn't planned. We are back on Bank Holiday Monday, which is the 29th of August. Possibly just sitting here just talking crap. I don't know what we're going to do yet because my guest hasn't confirmed. So if I don't get a confirmation, it might just be possibly me and, well, possibly just me. I don't know. We'll have to see. It could be interesting, but I'll certainly let people know what's going on beforehand. We're already booked up through September, so we are looking for guests for October. That's the 9th, the 23rd of October. If you're interested, do get in touch. I didn't put the ticker up, but don't worry. I'll stick up on the next one anyway. We're a few months off. So if you've got something you want to talk about, get in contact and we'll happily pull you a chair up and you can come and talk to us all about it. In the meantime, thanks very much for tuning in. It's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed that. One of my favourite episodes, I think. Until the next time, do take care and we'll talk to you again very soon. Mind what you're doing. Have a good week and we'll see you on the 29th of August for a bank holiday special. Until then, bye-bye.